Hello, this is Nos Biggs, and I'm attired in the same shirt I had on Sunday. And I've got a news article I want to share with you, synopsis. Wall Street Journal, Friday, April 23rd, 2021. My Doji boys are in really deep doo-doo. India hits a global record for daily news virus cases. But I want to talk to you about the article. Friends dreamed of fortunes on Robinhood. There should be a crime committed by these guys that were giving these people money. Chris Garcia set up a second monitor at his desk mid-January to display his Robinhood Markets Incorporated brokerage account. He turned to it offered, watching his balance grow to $23,400, more than 4 times his initial investment. Mr. Garcia, a 32-year-old school photographer, made more money in a few days from his market than his month's work at a day job. And he goes on a typical day, the 3 men exchanged at least 50 group texts, held video meetings to discuss investments, and they said, you're going to be rich. They were talking about Lamborghinis and Maseratis, and guess what? Yeah. People are not financially literate. There's 4 types of people in the world, and I'll be candid with you. There's the poor. And truthfully, I'm just not too interested in them. It's not that I don't care, but it's just there's so many of them, I don't know what to do with them. The second level is the lower middle class, the middle class, and the upper middle class. And I really don't want to have too much association with them either. Not because they're not nice people, but they keep making the same mistake over and over again, and you can't help them. Because the only thing they've been taught is to work hard, get a good job, send your kids to the best college they can afford, take on the debt, because they're going to get a good job, they're going to get 401ks, buy a house, take on some more debt, get a good financial manager, and every 5-6 years, market's going to crap on them, and they're going to have to say, it'll always come back, it'll always come back. They don't understand inflation and how it's eroding. So that's the first 2 people. The third level is small businessmen. And small businessmen, they work hard. Subway sandwich franchise costs about $50,000, and he makes probably $65, $70 net. A McDonald's franchise, big. He has to pay anywhere from $1.6 to $2 million to get the franchise, and he probably makes $750,000, $800,000 a year net. But he owns all of that debt, and every time McDonald's wants to tell them they want to change the thing, they have to pay. These franchise guys, they don't own a thing, even down to the fixtures. McDonald's owns the land, owns the rights. Now, so that's the third level, small businessmen. And the fourth level, and that's where I am, I'm fortunate, because I'm rich. And I don't make any apologies for it, because I can tell you, I wasn't always rich. I was in that second tier. My mother and father never went to college, and my father said, boy, you can go to any school that you can get in, and I'll pay the ride. And he let me live like what I thought was a king. I was the first to go to college, had a Duke degree. They paid for my MBA in Pepperdine. They bought my first house. And so they did everything they knew to give me a better life. And I still screwed it up. I've made, for a little guy, and that's what I am, I've made a lot of money. And all of it just sort of slipped through my hands because I sort of knew from the very beginning, my first class in money and banking at Duke University, And when they were talking about the money multipliers and the fractional reserve system and how $1 can turn into 20 just through a paper. And I said to the professor, I don't remember what his name was, I said, look, you can't take $1 and put it in my bank and then tell other people now it's suddenly 20. So your bank is making, I'm just asking, I said, so your bank gets to make $20 worth of loans for every dollar and I'm getting 5%? That's right, because that's the multiplier effect. And I said, sir, that's just fraud. That's just fraud. And the guy looked at me sort of disparagingly. He says, you obviously do not understand money and banking, sir. And I said, well, my daddy did. And he thought the Federal Reserve was a frickin' joke. And if you read the Creature from Jekyll Island, you'd understand why the Federal Reserve has on their original money, this note is exchangeable into lawful money. Now, can you imagine? A Federal Reserve note had right on the top of the top of the paper. This note is exchangeable into lawful money. So if it was exchangeable into lawful money, the Federal Reserve note must not have been lawful money. So go and think, if any legal document you see at the top is always the title. And the title tells you what it is. And the Federal Reserve has a note, and that's an evidence of debt. So let's get back to the fourth level. So I told you I'm rich, and I'm rich not because of money, but because of being free. I don't have expensive taste. I don't have expensive needs. I bought some investments that have really panned out for me. One of them is I bought a whole lot of timeshare because I have 52 weeks of timeshare and I can go anywhere in the world, and basically it cost me about $5,500 a year to stay in these are not 5-star hotels, they're 3-star hotels. You might want to go to the fountains in Orlando. I can hook you up there for a 2-day, 3-night stay. And so back to it. So what I'm suggesting to you is being rich is not monetary. It is freedom to do what you want when you want to do it. And so once you have that mentality, you start looking around and son of a gun, making money is easy. Making money with these rich people, son of a gun, it's so easy. I'm thankful to Ken Mann, who taught me how to trade Forex. I'm thankful to Tika Twari, who taught me how to do crypto. I'm thankful for my father, who never failed to support me and to give me the love and the attention of an only son. And I wasn't always his son. He adopted me at the age of 4. Never doubted that he treated me just like a son. And we fought and fussed because we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. But he never withdrew his support. Even when I opened my small hedge fund in 2013 with Justin Hertzberg, he loaned me $35,000 to start my little hedge fund. Justin said, you're not going to be able to raise money. You are a no-name. And I said, yeah, I'll be able to get it. And a guy named Yanko, who was on part of Ace Gazette, he found an Israeli investor and put $2.5 million in our hedge fund, and we were off and running. And we never looked back. So now today, Ken Mann, Michael Noel, Ifmi Auntie, Tahir Khan, Joseph Lankland, so many people have been instrumental in mentoring me to become rich. So here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to ask you to go to Rich Dad, Poor Dad and buy the book. And then enroll yourself into his program. And honest to goodness, in 2 years, you'll be free. You may not be mega rich, but you'll be free. This is Steve Gibson. I'm preparing for my celebration of my father's death. And you may say celebration, yes, because on 5/17 of last year, he succumbed to a nosocomial death. The PA that was under he was under care, literally killed him. And that's what he said. And I've got a TikTok to see him, and he looks so pitiful because they wouldn't even let me come into the hospital because of COVID, whatever that is. So thanks for listening. I hope that you got through this. If you don't, if you do and you still don't, please disconnect me. But if you do and you care, I sure would like to help you get rich. Take care. This is Steve Gibson running for. Take care.